power of love, the power of love. Come and listen to the stories that change the way that you see, the things that you hear will help you to feel empowered every day.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of The Power of Love, exploring the most powerful force on earth. I'm Mia Saenz, your host, and in this episode is Christine Roman Miskinis, and I adore and love her. I've known her for about 10 years. I've been blessed that way. She's a colleague and a friend, and she empowers women with their voice. So when you think about self-love, what is one of the things that most women are lacking? And that is the voice, the power to be able to speak, see, and feel who you naturally are. So welcome, Christine. It's wonderful to have you.
Thank you so much, Mia. I love you. I'm so excited to be here today. Everything that you've just said, has touched my heart deeply. And I'm really excited to see where we take this today for our viewers.
Yeah. And this is an interesting interview because Christine and I did a catch up before. And so we didn't even have anything planned about our talk, except for that I know that wherever we are guided, it's going to be magic. So I'd like us to talk about love, voice, and since we do have a lot of men joining us on this beautiful series, let's talk about not just women, but the voice of empowerment, the voice of authenticity.
Beautiful. So I will start with leadership and what that means. And to be in leadership, many people might see leaders out there. Some of us have grown up with issues around authority figures because how they have used that power, right, to control or to force. We don't need to really go too deep in that, but what I will say is, if you are an entrepreneur, an influencer, someone who speaks, someone who teaches or mentors, or even just shares your own messages, you need to know that your inner authority is your God-given right. Your inner authority is created by your self-worth, your self-love, your self-acceptance, and your own self-realization. Okay, those are things you might want to go write down and just be with. Those are very powerful words. And when we speak of voice, the reason I've just given you that, leadership and all of that, is because I want you to know your access to your own power lies in your integrity. Integrity to me is like another word for authenticity. Your authenticity, your ability to be a free spirit, to speak freely, to voice your concerns, your perceptions, your ideas, all of that, because the voice is a power of communication and creation. Communication and creation. Mia and I did a course years ago together, and it was like, well, connection equals currency, and currency is money in the bank. Connection, if we're talking about business, hello, your communication equals connection. It's literally what you say, how you say it, and how another person receives it and hears it, and how they feel or how they leave feeling about you. And this is why the voice is such an encompassing tool that, I will just say, Mia, before we go back to the actual question, so you can get me back on track here, but it's so big. And as children, we came from being seen and don't speak, or we tell children don't talk or don't say this, or we tell them what to say, please and thank you, and did you say thank you, and did you? It's like, oh my goodness. And so the voice is so pure in its potential because it's connected directly to our heart, to the way that we feel, the way we experience life. However, we have the duality of the mind and all of the programming, all of the conditions, and all of the things we actually heard ourselves as children And we learned how to be, how to speak, again, what to say, what not to say, what to think, what not to think, what's okay, what's not okay, instead of trusting ourselves, our inner knowing, our inner authority, our inner power, which is why they say out of the mouths of babes, because most babes haven't lost it yet. They're like, oh, you can't say that. But mom, it's true. But, what? And we're like, oh, we're horrified. Okay. And so, of course, we get to be masterful with our voices, and we want to be compassionate and respectful and all of that. However, let the truth be told, because in these times, we know the power of the voice. We know when we hear it, and the other things we go, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't feel right. And then it causes us to question. And let me just say, there's no reason that you should feel uninhibited in your speaking of your truth or your questioning, because your questioning brings about correct thinking. And I hope that today, Mia, we can, with your questioning and with all of this kind of interplay here, we'll kind of break through some of those barriers to empower the listeners.
What would you say about communication? So you're about empowering the voice. And also for me, the communication level rises when we are aware of specific things, right? Our emotional intelligence, that we have a right to be heard, that we have a right to use our voice, that we actually are in the right situation or the right elevation of awareness. People want to hear something that's powerful rather than the negative. So in communication, let's talk a little bit about the power that it brings to humans when we're communicating. And I loved how you said integrity, because I believe communication has to be integrous. That's it. No other way. That's it. Can you talk about
Beautiful.
that?
Yeah, so this is the thing with integrity, goes back to authenticity, goes back to how do we communicate and what's true. If I'm here teaching you, I'm really not teaching you. You do already know. I am giving you language, I'm giving you perception, so you can either remember your power, or you can feel in this moment, oh, that's true for me. Yes. So what I will say about integrity is the power of your word, which I kind of went into a little bit, but we can go back there. It's so powerful. The power of your word, and why there's so much censorship and don't say that and all this around voice. You literally can create your reality upon, or co-create, I will just say, upon the words that you choose. Okay. And so integrity is saying what you mean, meaning what you say, doing what you say you would do, doing what's expected of you or what you've already carved out as who you are and what you do, even when you don't say it. It's already become understood by your former words. Now, as people, though, let me just bring in some graciousness. We all go in and out of integrity all of the time. You can't not do that. It's human. So we talked about, Mia and I talked before, the human versus the soul, right? The spirit versus the human. And we're spiritual beings having a human experience. So we cannot just cut off all of those parts of ourselves. However, here comes in the communication. When we falter, when we are not in integrity, someone might say, hey, but didn't you, hey, mom, don't you usually cook us breakfast? Why is there no breakfast? Oh, I got off track. I got sidetracked. That's out of integrity. Something you always do without letting someone else know about it. Okay. And then anytime you leave somebody wondering what's going on, where is Mia? Where is Christine? Why are they 5 minutes late? Oh, crap. You don't beat yourself up. I'm terrible. I can't get this right. You go, Mia, this is a communication exercise. Mia, I am so sorry. I really lost track of that. And I know that we had a plan to be at this time and I was late. That's not enough, guys and girls. That's not enough. Saying you're sorry is not enough. You haven't restored integrity. That's part one. Okay. I apologize. I know I didn't get that right. Here's what I commit to you and myself next time. Here is the blank space. You can add whatever you want. If you know you're working on this, you're not great at this happens way too often than you care to admit. Hey, Mia, next time, can you give me a signal 5 minutes before? Would you be okay with sending me a text? I'm really not great at this. Or if you've already better at this and you don't need help from Mia, you say, next time, I'm going to set my own alarm in my phone, 5 minutes, minutes, and so that I am on time. This will not happen again. That's your power. I'm getting full body. I don't know if you could see it because I have this blur thing on, but I'm getting all these goosebumps all over the truth bumps. Okay. Because now I'm like, oh, Christine, that feels so sexy. It feels so awesome. Yes. Yes. Get it. Do it. Practice it, and that's integrity. Then we have access to so much more because I'm on time. I'm committed. I'm honoring my word. And guess what? Now there's freedom, space, access to more potential. The potential now takes on a whole different space. Can we see that? That's cool, right?
Yeah, great. And also, I just want to say she wasn't late. Because
I know.
Sometimes human nature will say, oh, I wonder if she was late. And that's why they went off on that exercise. No, she wasn't late.
No, but I have been late before. I have mixed up times and dates, especially on Mia. I'm not right? We've done things. I'm like, oh, shoot. Oh, we're busy people. We have all that. It's her graciousness. Thank you for that, Mia, because I have been that person and I'm not so much that person anymore, only because I've learned the importance and not the importance to Mia, right? Mia's going to go and do her thing. She might still be she's from the past experiences. She might, oh, Christine. Well, yeah, I did that. I was that, but watch me now, now I'm committed. And so here's where we get to be in our seriously. I mean, we'll talk about love and all of that. When we're authentic, when I'm either asking Mia for help or recommitting or restoring my integrity of my word and my voice, she gets a different part of me. I get a different part of me. That part is where we connect together. That part is pure. It is love. Love, compassion, graciousness, understanding, empathy. That is all love.
And also, what's interesting is until you said that, I don't ever remember you being late, but I do now that you've said it, just remember we've had to move things or whatever. I still don't, you know what I mean? We let things go when somebody shows up for us in the right way, like you're talking about. The other person would have to let it go. That's love, right? Love of self. So I don't carry that weight with me around. Love of you because I don't see you that way. I see you way up here. So what a beautiful conversation to even recognize the way that we recognize growth or how things feel or work better for us is by communicating and sharing stories, because that's really, really a very beautiful experience. So what I'm taking away from this is be light with each other and also be authentically pure, like she was saying, with integrity. Clean up a space, and you can use that word. I want to clean this up, or can we talk? The little things like that allows someone to feel that they're genuinely appreciated and cared for. And that's just what you made me feel, was how beautiful that was. Very lovely. Yeah.
And then we have more abundance. We have more space. We have more. We're not kinking up the hose, So you just made me present to something, Mia, when you said Mia on the other end, the other person on the other side. Mia was like, yeah, well, even if you were late, even if whatever, I would still choose love for you. And not just for you, Christine, but I don't want to carry the stuff of the anger, the disappointment, the blah, blah, blah. I'm going to forgive you for that. I'm going to restore my faith in love, in you, in myself as humans. And we're going to go on with it, right? Now that's beautiful. But when there's two people, the communication creates the connection. So if Mia chooses to do that, it also, like, hesitant to say this, but it's also almost her responsibility to also be like, honey, it's okay. I love you. I choose. And I think you've even said this with me before. This is like a moment of like, I think you've done this. So this is what I mean. When you become the epitome, the embodiment of love, it happens naturally. And there's always an impact to that. Now, when you add in voice, it becomes like a connection thing, right? And so, and not in a codependent way, in a co-creative way. When Mia says, honey, I know you have a lot going on, and I know, you were late. I love you regardless. And I'm like, oh, so what does that cause, Christine? To open my heart more in the next moment, in the next days with Mia, in the next month, in the next years. It's like I've opened myself up to her because she has expressed her love and her truth with words. She's confirmed for me, it's okay. I still believe in you. I still, whatever, right? There's words that are said that are not even said. So thank you for saying that too, because I was just coming at it from my responsibility. But I guess when we're in partnership, we have two-way streets.
We do. And then I also want to add to that there are relationships, especially in this time and place in humanity. Since 2016, if we've been on a spiritual or an awakening journey, we've recognized that our world, our environment, our things that are most important to us are coming to a full circle, right? They're moving like a spiral. We have to deal with it. People have been, this is what I've experienced, and this is what I hear all my close spiritual and awareness friends and all that say is, people are being ripped away from us, right? We're clearing out what doesn't serve us. So in the space where Christine and I were just talking, don't be afraid to remove someone from your experience that doesn't serve you. And we're not meaning in the egotistical way, bow down to me. We're talking about equality. We're talking about love. If somebody in your life is not showing up to love you, to be gentle and kind, to communicate, to have and allow you also to have your voice, there's an issue there. And things can be changed lovingly. So what love does is this is Christine's interview, but oh well.
Oh, I love it. I'm good. I love it.
What love does is it transforms love deeper, right? And richer. So instead of people that I've let go, I've never let go as I hate you. It's I love you tremendously. And it's time for you to now leave my life. Not that I've said that part to him, but it just naturally happens. It's time for you to leave. And I love and I respect you over here as a human, but you just don't serve it to my highest good. And that's not a wrong thing. We don't want to clear out everybody in our life. We want to take each example, one moment, one person at a time, and it's not about clearing everybody out and getting rid of them. It's about enriching your body, mind, and spirit experience for yourself. That's what your soul wants. That's what your soul is here to do, to love more. Right?
I'm getting from you also, the word that just came through was like acceptance, like accepting people for who they are. It's not easy to do, especially when they have issues with you or they come at you with anger and this and that, right? It's like you can get hooked in, but like the saying goes, you can't get hurt. Nobody can make you sad. Nobody can make you do that. You have to agree to that. So similarly to what Mia was talking about, like if there's another person, you can just say, I just don't agree anymore, but I accept you that this is who you are. And I also know that I require this level of friendship or this, in people and being together. And so, so I don't have to hate you or hate on you or put my energy into some type of that with you. I can love you, accept you, and set you free.
And set you free.
And set myself free.
I think that's a song.
Yeah.
I hear Sting in my head.
I don't know. There's so many set you free songs.
That's coming from That's from the energy of the voice woman here.
Yeah.
So let's share with the world. Let's share with everybody. Yes. There is a mission that you have with the voice, with women, and originally you still do Rock It Out Woman. That's been your thing. One of your things is having events, large events, like when you had Marianne Williamson at, and okay, I'll say it, and me too. But yes. Phenomenal heart opening spaces. And I'll say this, that has been, and I've never told you this, I don't think, that Rock It Out Woman event in New York was the most awe-inspiring experience for me, with the women that were there. Their hearts cracked open. So when I get on stage, the first thing I say to people, and I usually ask God if I'm supposed to say it when I'm off in the wings, but I say, you're deeply loved, you're not alone, and you're a miracle, because these are my truths. And I remember the women in that audience cracked in half. And it is one of my ways to open up the heart. But you bring, so now back to Christine, this isn't just the Mia show. You bring so much. I've never been in an experience like that. Let me just say that. Usually, afterwards people come up, oh, I just loved what you said and blah, blah, blah. That's wonderful. But these women were really like, I've never heard that. And I feel seen for the first time. How do you, and I'm sure it's your authenticity in your voice, but how do you get amazing people to come forward like that and open and allow you to help them open their heart?
Yeah. So I'm
it was you that they were coming to see. It was you.
Well, it was me that they were coming to see, but they didn't know they would be graced with you either. Only I knew that, and we knew that behind the scenes. I'm crying right now because of your beautiful words. Again, I have goosebumps, and we don't really have a lot of authentic connection like this, communication. It's beautiful, Mia, that you've created this for us today and that you're infusing this here. This was also about you. And this is about the co-creative powers. And I needed to hear this today because in the live event space, in the New York space, in all of the things that have happened post-pandemic, all of this, right? I've retreated, I've pulled back from doing a lot of things in person. And I've been questioning that myself, like what else is there and why, and is it really important? So maybe the viewers, listeners, maybe you've been questioning your own gifts. Maybe you've been questioning your own expression, your own service. And so it is priceless to have this woman here today. I know she's featuring me, but you can't feature me without her in this platform today. It is priceless for women and men and to speak their truth in this most authentic way. Before this video even came to be, Mia has this beautiful divine masculine man who checked in with her, voiced, are we set up, everything working? She's like, yeah, I'm going. It's this tenderness, it's this level of authenticity. And when you bring people like you're doing now, Mia, yes, I did it in New York. I did it in a live event. And I just want to say thank you, sister, for being the example today. This is what it looks like. It looks like tears. This is strength.
But they're tears of love. Yeah, gratitude.
Yes.
Heart swelling.
Yes, it's amazing. We need to see more. Can we just normalize this? The tears and the love on both sides. I used to watch Oprah cry on her show, and I used to be crying too. But her guests were always like either stoic, or they didn't really get it. Like, it's like, this is a new time where we can be like, yes, I'm interviewing you. I'm crying too. Yes. It's beautiful. We love each other. This is the power of love to join us together. And the women that day in my event, like these people might be listening and watching today, they felt the pure power of love, the graciousness, and they heard the messages that we came to share with our voices. This is my message. Rock your voice, because your voice is what's here to open your heart and to put out the sonar messages, those signals, the sounds that we hear, that we feel, that we recognize as truth, that we're like, yes, sister, yes, brother, yes. Like, that's more of what we need to do. We don't need more BS. We don't need more fake filters and all this stuff that's like, whatever. It's great. It's fun. But let us get back to real life potential of the human spirit, which is the power that we possess, which is your voice. You take it everywhere you go. Everything you do, wherever you be, is your voice and that power. So pay attention to the words you say, both in here. Your voice is your bridge. I always say this, your inner connection, what's going on all here, and your outer expression. When Mia opens her mouth and speaks, that's why I get chills. That's why I feel like, oh, I love it. I love it, because she's so beautiful. She's so gracious. She's so full of love. And I can receive that. And then I can have my turn. It's different. I sound different than Mia, but we're both being authentic. We're both being true. And so do you. One is not better than the other. We're just a little different. We hear it different. Different people connect with us. There's room, there's space. Take up the space. Share your voice and just always get used to it coming from your heart, not just your head. Open up to divine spirit, open up to God. As Mia said, before she walked on the stage, what did she do? She asked for guidance, permission. She became the vessel. That's your mouth. Open your mouth. Become a vessel of truth, of love, of spirit, of God. And share. Go tell it on the mountain. Share your message far and wide. But please make sure you start with yourself, at home with yourself, and also at home in your home as much as you can, and then branch it out into your communities and into the world as we're doing today.
Yeah.
Wow. Love you.
It's so powerful, Christine. I have two images in my head right now. One of them is, as you were talking, and it should be normalcy for all of us. And Christine is one who is like this, like I am, and all my other close girlfriends, and my guy friends. Do you remember Golden Globes, everyone? We saw it all over social media where Jamie Lee Curtis is for her friend. I can't even remember her name. This gorgeous, I remember she's a Chinese actress. I can't even remember her name at the moment, but she won, I think it was Best Actress. And Jamie Lee Curtis lost it. She was so excited for her friend. That's how we need to be. We need to champion everyone that we love, and even those that we don't know yet. Did you see I didn't say love yet? Know yet. Because love is so consistent and universal that we love even the people in the grocery store that we don't know yet. And so I want you to take that as you go through the grocery store the next time. Man, woman, it doesn't matter who you are. I want you to go through the grocery store and say, could I see them as their soul essence and actually love them? And you'll see the yeses and the nos, and then you'll start to see the transformation within your own experience, literally. And another thing I want to share really quick, because it's very valuable about voice, confidence, or even self-security and giving. Something that no one knows except for Christine and I about that event was Marianne Williamson was supposed to speak after me. She was a little late, or something happened in the schedule, and she needed more time. And nobody was willing to give up their time except for me. I said, let her have whatever needs of my time. If I speak 15 minutes or 20 minutes on stage, it's going to be exactly what is needed, and she can have the rest. And guess what happened, guys? I spoke, we went to lunch, we came back, Marianne was on stage, and she cited my work 3 times. Who else gets to have somebody like Marianne Williamson saying about self-love and stuff, just as Mia said? And people's heads were flipping around to me. So my take on this in life is about when you're authentically honest with yourself and not afraid to love and to give, miracles happen. Miracles happen. Because I gifted my time, I was rewarded. And don't look at rewards like, what is somebody going to give me? after it's all over, reflect on it and see what your gift is, what your miracle is. I guarantee you there's always a miracle. Oh, for a minute, I thought you were going to close us out.
If you want me to.
I was like, why is Christine not moving? All right, Christine, can you share with us one more thing that's on your heart before we say goodbye?
Yes. There's so much potential abundance. That is love. Love is extremely expansive, right? We know fear or love, contraction or expansion. And so as Mia gave us that direction, going out, going to a grocery store, all of that. But I choose to see everyone in love, and I choose to be like a child when I go out into the world. And I always see confirmation coming back to me. People say, oh, but you're so beautiful. Don't you have this? Don't you have that? I mean, I don't always look at everyone and kind of get roped into all of that, but I'm very in my own heart space of I'm protected, I'm loved, and I'm going to go and share myself in that way today. And then, as Mia said, you can choose who you want to share it with and all of that. But if you walk around seeing yourself as love, and the words that you use, which are very simplistic, can be very even childlike, right? Very pure, you will start to see the power of that open up doors for you. People will open up doors for you. You will receive gifts. And what does that do? It cycles back, and you'll just keep offering more of yourself in the world. That's freedom. That's the freedom of self-expression. It's kind of what we see from celebrities. Well, they have all these things and they don't look stressed about bills and this and this. So we're like, oh my God, to be famous, well, what if you already were? What if you already were full of love and fame and beauty and truth and power? But it's something that we don't idolize because we're not meant to idolize, right? But we idolize these other things. And now we're seeing like everybody's just like us anyway. So use your pure state of potential, which is your heart, and give voice to that to be a gift of others for others.
Beautiful.
That's it.
So we have credits at the end, but will you let everybody know how they can reach you?
Yeah, perfectly. So I have rockitoutwoman.com, rock, R-O-C-K, it, out, O-U-T, woman, single, WOMAN.com. You can find me there, find me on social media. I'd love to connect with you and stay in touch. And I'm wishing you so much love and many blessings.
Really beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us, Christine. This was lovely. It was really lovely.
Same for me. Thanks for having me, babe.
Thank you. And thank you all for joining us in this episode. We hope you loved it too.